English for Science and Engineering. Materials Science. Unit 1. Engineering Materials.
Engineering materials can be divided into two types, metals and nonmetals. Since iron is such a widely used material, metals can be further divided into those that contain iron, ferrous metals, and those that do not contain iron, non-ferrous metals. Examples of metallic materials are iron and copper, whereas nonmetallic materials include carbon and silicon.
Concerning the chemical composition of materials, three main categories can be used to describe materials. Elements are pure materials in their most basic form and cannot be broken down into different constituents. Examples of elements that are widely used in engineering materials are iron, carbon, and aluminum.
Compounds are another category of materials that consist of two or more elements that are chemically bound. Mixtures, on the other hand, are materials that consist of two or more elements or compounds which are mixed, but which are not chemically bound. Common examples of mixtures are alloys, such as steel, which is an iron-carbon alloy and can include other alloying metals in small quantities.
Another type of material is composite materials, such as carbon fiber, which are commonly used in high-tech applications. However, composites are not always high-tech or expensive. The earliest examples of composite materials were bricks made from mud and straw, which had straw reinforcement and a mud matrix. A modern example of a composite is glass-reinforced plastic, which has a plastic matrix reinforced with glass fibers.
One weakness of mild steel is that it can rust when it's exposed to air. This rusting happens because of a chemical reaction between the iron in the steel and the oxygen in the air. Over time, this rust can make the steel weaker. When it rusts, the rusty parts flake off, and new rust forms, slowly eating into the metal. But not all metals have this problem.
One metal that does not corrode easily is aluminum. When aluminum is exposed to air, it forms a thin layer on its surface called oxide. This oxide layer acts like a shield, protecting the metal underneath from further rusting. So, even though aluminum is exposed to the same air as mild steel, it doesn't rust in the same way.
In summary, mild steel can rust and weaken over time, while metals like aluminum stay strong because they have a protective oxide layer. This difference in how metals react to air is important to understand when working with different materials.